What's up, everybody? It's your boy Snoop Von Poop here. Welcome to a special Friday edition watch stream. And today you're going to see an amazing conversation that I had with Laz on his show, Trance Lucid Conversations. So make sure you give him a follow at Laz Molnar. I'll be sure to put that up on the screen here shortly. And check out his show, Trance Lucid Conversations. And make sure you stick around after the stream because you're going to see a new podcast coming to the Phone Booth Productions page, which you can go to phoneboothpodcast.substack.com and check that out. That's kicking off at 9 p.m. Eastern, just after the stream. So here it is, the Trance Lucid conversation I had with Laz. Enjoy it, everybody.
The following is a Trance Lucid conversation with Snoop Von Poop. What's up, Snoop?
What up, Mr. Laz?
How you doing,
brother? I'm good.
I'm great, man. Really excited about this early morning conversation.
Early morning? It's afternoon where you're at, isn't it?
It's morning for you.
Yes, it is.
This is all about you. So what'd you have for breakfast? Be honest. What'd you shovel in your mouth?
Jet fuel, Monster.
Get the fuck out of here. You drink these?
No, but because you told me before we started that I didn't smile and I seemed tired, so I figured I better have one.
So this works? All right, you know
we're
what?
About to find out.
All right, you know what? Just for that, now you got to do a sponsor ad for your Monster. Put it up right in front of your chest so we can see it.
No, I'm not doing shit for them. I'll promote Lux Bidet. Get your Lux Bidet. Go to luxbidet.com. Use promo code Snoop. Get yourself a discount.
Awesome. And this episode is brought to you unofficially by Lucy Gum, nicotine gum. I got the 4 milligram pack. This is coffee flavored. It's actually pretty shit, but they have other ones. Mango's really good.
I forgot to show the
right
bidet.
There we go. Mango's really good and peppermint. So hopefully I'll get them on as a sponsor.
How many milligrams do you do?
This is 4 milligrams. Last time with Vince, I did 8, but I'm standing. I have a standing desk there. Dude, I almost fainted. I had to go lay down and keep doing the podcast laying down.
Do you think that was from talking to Vince or was it from the gum?
It's a combination. It's a combination of the gayness and the nicotine.
Right.
So you know what? I'll have to try it with you. I'll do a second one with you and see if I still get faint.
Well, I don't need you passing out on me.
I haven't passed out yet.
I don't need to be steering another podcast. Jeez.
All right. So let's get right to it. First of all, what's the connection with Lux Bidet? Is this like what you do? Is this your side gig? Is this a poop fascination?
No, actually. So in the beginning, when I started in X Page, long before podcasting came into the picture, El Poopy is my friend in real life.
That's how the episode.
He was my guest this past week. Yeah, and he joined Twitter, and he was like, "Hey man, you should join." Blah blah blah. And I had given him the name El Poopy already, so then I named myself Snoop Von Poop and started tweeting. We were just kind of commenting and tweeting, and Lux Bidet just sent me a message out of nowhere saying, "Whoa. Hey, we want to send you a bidet, and you can either give it away to one of your followers or you can keep it for yourself." And I was like, all right, cool, and like I gave them, fake names and all this stuff because I didn't know if they were legit. I didn't know anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it turned out to be legit. They sent me the bidet, and I installed it. It's life changing. If you don't already have a bidet, I highly recommend getting one. Not only have I cut my toilet paper usage down by about 2/3. It's just I've never felt so clean down there. I mean, it's just life-changing.
You are preaching to the choir. So I spent 3 years teaching in South Korea. That's where I tried my first bidet, and they had everything from like heated. Also, the best one I found was the one I installed, because there they have their showers sometimes as part of, they just have a drain in the bathroom and you shower, you can get the toilet wet, everything. It's actually good it's easy to keep things clean, but you need slippers to go in. So there I installed one that just went on the cold water, like some of these basic ones. But that thing, the pressure was so strong that it would go right up and just cleaned probably a good inch inside, but it felt so fresh, so clean. Plus, you didn't even need coffee in the morning because the cold just kind of woke you up, kind of like your Monster.
But so check this out. Like they sent me the one and I got it. And then when I got to 5,000 followers, I asked them, I said, hey, would you mind if I gave one away? And they were like, yeah, go right ahead. So I gave one away at 5,000. And then they allowed me to send one to my buddy up in Montreal who's battling long COVID. And then I was on another podcast with Chaz Stumbo from the Ear Mob podcast. And he did like a really great promotion for them. And so they allowed me to send him one. And then I started this podcast and they allowed me to give even more away. So I've just been giving away bidets like crazy. And what's cool is they even have portable bidets.
Yep. I had one of those portable.
Yeah, they're great, man.
You can use them to clean your teeth after too.
I did a whole stream where we were giving one away, and I did a whole stream where I would always take a drink of water from it.
But that's the thing. It gets so clean down there that, I mean, technically it all falls on it. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So that's how I got involved with them, man. Like I don't work for them. All right. In fact, so Ted actually got them to to set up to market them so I can actually get paid from them. But it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really fit what I do. Like if I had a website or something where I could put, like a banner up there, it'd be all right. But I don't have the time to be, trying to push bidets to make, $1 a bidet. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's affiliate marketing. So for all you that are looking to get a Lux bidet, just make sure you put / is it Snoop?
Yeah, just use promo code Snoop and you get a discount. I don't see any money from it. Like I don't get anything from it, but you can get, I think it's 10% off or something like that. That covers the tax.
Awesome.
It's nice. Yeah.
So that explains the name. So going back to the name, so why Poop? Is it because you talk a lot of shit on Twitter?
Well, so El Poopy came back from a trip to Puerto Rico, and he was like, he had this shirt like that said something about El Papi. He's like, yeah, I want people to call me El Papi. I was like, whatever, dude. It's more like El Poopy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he became El Poopy, and he was like already talking shit on X, with like political shit. And then when he was begging me to join, I was like, well, fuck, I might as well come up with a poop name too. We became Snoop Von Poop. And then that started the Poo-Tang Clan. And then we've had other friends join, Pootie P, who's our friend in real life. And he joined the Poo-Tang Clan. And then I started this community, and there's like over 80 members in it now. It's pretty wild.
It just reminds me of, you ever see the movie, where they're in high school, Micah Cera and Jonah Hill?
Super bad,
right? Yeah. When the kid is just drawing dicks, he's got this thing of drawing dicks. It just seems like you have a fascination with poop, but you don't want to admit it.
No, it's gross. In fact, that's why I could never be gay, because there's poop involved.
That's true. You know what? Let's touch on that for a sec, because I heard in prison, the last thing you want to do is fart, because people will be like, ooh. And the smell of it may turn some dudes on. Fun fact. So, question for you: do gay guys, do they get excited when they smell farts? Kind of like we get excited if we smell pussy.
Let me message Vince and ask him.
Yeah, you know what? That's a Vince question.
That's a Vince question.
He's probably talking to Maya right now.
Probably.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, Vince was on episode 7 of Trance Lucid Conversations. I'll put it under here, and you can catch up on all the fun, the hijinks. We had a great conversation, but I'm really, really excited to talk to you. Ted said something in one of you weren't on it, but I think he was on with Haywood, another one, the Pick Is In podcast. Haywood's a very cool dude. And he said, for some reason,
he's also my friend in real life.
I heard. Yeah. I'm sorry. So Ted said something really interesting. He said, what is it about you and Snoop that you guys seem to be able to build rapport with people really quick? Like, you guys meet like really big musicians. They fucking want to party with you, hang out with you. And I wrote a comment on it that you're just both butterfaces. That's why. So,
well, I can't speak for Haywood, but for me, I've always grown up around big personalities. When I was in junior high, I became a ball boy for the Phoenix Suns. And so that kind of opened the door to celebrity for me, if you will.
Yep.
I was like, around the NBA players every other night,
Yep.
and then the All-Star game was in Phoenix that year.
What?
So I was a part of
Barkley?
Yeah.
Damn.
Barkley was here. But it was 1994 and 95.
And how old were you?
I was 14 and 15 years old.
Nice.
And
did you have a full head of hair then?
Fuck you.
I'm just, dude, it's a fair question. You said anything goes.
Yeah,
you had a fro, didn't you?
I did, but it was about a couple years later it started falling out. But so the All-Star game was there, and so I got to see all the entertainment that goes along with it. All the musicians that would come and perform at it, and just like the big event of it. And then after that, we moved to Las Vegas. And so I grew up around the entertainment industry, the strip shows, and every musician wanted to come to Vegas. And then I would hang out in the clubs, and, I'd be hanging out with, guys I would see on the MTV all the time. And, I just always grown up around them.
And pause here for a sec. This is what I love. The dude can name drop like crazy. You haven't dropped a single name. I'm pulling them out of you, right?
Well, and you know what? You know why? It's because like I don't mind talking about it like how we're talking about it right now, but like I have friends that will like introduce me to people, be like, oh, this guy used to work for Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Like, don't lead with that, because then it just like paints a picture that is just like not exactly accurate. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right. I did work for Vince Neil at one point, but it's not, I worked for his clothing line. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. It's not like I was, on tour with him.
Dude, it looks great on a resume, but this is the thing. You are so humble. And again, I'm just going to point this out. This man is so humble. Like, you could be dropping names like crazy, and most people do, but you don't. Now, how does it feel to go from Vince to now having to work for Vince Sinat?
I don't work for Vince Sinat.
That's not what I heard. That's not what I heard. Okay.
No, I don't work for Vince.
All right, sorry. So you were around.
I mean, technically, you could say I work for Ted, I guess.
Can we say you work under Vince?
No.
Above?
Equal.
All right. All right. So you're around these NBA players. Is it true what they say, and these big, musicians, rock stars? I don't even know what you would call them. Some will call them legends. Is it true that some people have an aura? Could you feel their aura when you were around them?
Absolutely. Some of them, yes. Others not so much. And some have a negative aura. And that's actually one of the things, like with some of the musicians, it kind of discouraged me from wanting to be a part of the music industry, because I would see how they acted. I would see them, in the dressing rooms before and after shows, and how they behaved. And it just kind of wasn't my cup of tea. But others, just definitely have that aura about them. Something stands out, and that's why they're so successful at what they do. There's something, that they've tapped into, and I think everybody's capable of it. It's just learning how to tap into it,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But some people naturally have it. Now, some people, excuse me, this is my spit cup for those that don't know. I'm such a pussy.
That's a fancy spit cup.
Right? It seems like it. Dude, it caught my eye because it had a dragon on it, and we all know dinosaurs are fake.
That's like a spit goblet. Is that what they call it?
It's like a spit goblet, and it's nice. It's like at first I was using it as an ashtray, but then I got a better ashtray, and then I said, you know what, this is a perfect spit cup. But I bought this, fun story. I bought it at a gas station. I think I paid like $15 for it. Then I looked underneath when I washed it the other day, and it's got $1, like our Dollarama. Fucking $4.25, man. These fuckers bought it at the dollar store and just put it in the back and sold it to plebs like me. But I got good use out of it. So speaking of aura, are you one of these dudes that you could walk into, let's say, a meeting and you can already feel the energy in the room?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that when I walk in the room, like I observe everything. I can look and tell, okay, that person's going to be a problem. That person's probably going to be cool. You know what I mean? And, like I can read the room real fast, and I think it has to do with just like a social anxiety within me, so it's like I have to do that in order to know where I'm going to feel comfortable,
So speaking of this, what are you doing tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern? Potentially up to midnight.
I might potentially be watching a podcast online somewhere.
Okay. So you are cordially invited. Please be ready with your sweet background because we may pull you up because I want to talk about this specifically. For those of you, if this goes up before 9, check out Ted Logan's tweet or on my page, it's pinned. You can vote the topic that we're going to be talking about 9 p.m. Eastern. We're starting something new. It's still a little hush-hush on what we named it, but essentially it's men helping men. And I'd love to bring you up as well. There we go.
Why did you tell me I was so dark last?
Dude, honestly, I just thought like you just woke up. I mean,
it's my first podcast of the day, man.
You're drinking Monster for God's sakes. I don't even know how to help you, dude. Like,
well, see, look, 2 sips and I realized that something was off. The lighting was off. The aura was bad.
Something is off, man. But dude, first time I met you, I was on the phone booth podcast with these boys. You finally came on. I had my Vaughn Conspirator, who was on a previous episode. I got all these guys, General, on a space. You finally jumped on. And man, yeah, right away, I'm like, this dude's a very cool dude. Like you're just I joke that you're autistic. But you're first of all, you're a marketing genius. The name of your podcast, every time we say here's the thing, we got to say here's the thing podcast. Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Snoop Von Poop. Genius. Dude, your Wu-Tang Clan, can you move your head a little so we see it? Is fucking phenomenal. I love that background. I was a huge Wu-Tang fan. I actually made a clock in shop class in high school.
Oh, nice.
And I took so much time on it. Everybody wanted to buy it off me. I'm like, fuck no. And for some reason I lost it. But I love your marketing genius, and I love your directness and your authenticity, but you are extremely creative.
Well, thank you. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, almost didn't happen. I wanted to call it the poop shoot, you know, like because you're shooting the shit when you talk to someone.
Horrible name. Horrible name.
Well, I think it's still all right. I might use it for something else.
Do a poop shoot segment. This is the poop shoot segment. Sure.
Yeah. But
go ahead.
Here's the thing, just was like something I came up with because I remember watching a podcast. I want to say it was with Whitney Cummings, the comedian.
Yep. She's hilarious.
And she was talking to Chris D'Elia, another comedian. And the
name funny, but dark,
Yeah, the name of his podcast is just called Congratulations.
Oh, nice.
And it's like something real simple, and it kind of stands out, and it has nothing to do with anything really. It's just congratulations. And I was like, well, here's the thing is kind of cool because it's something everybody says in conversation, and it just like you could do so much with it. You could here's the thing with Laz, here's the thing with basketball, here's the thing with Monster energy drinks. It can apply to a lot. And so it just kind of rolled off the tongue, and I went with it.
So you like things that roll off the tongue, huh? Do you eat Snickers upside down too?
I don't eat Snickers, sorry. But if I did, I would not.
All right, fair enough. Now, just on this point, right, what the marketing ideas. So I'm a marketing guy, classically trained. I took marketing in university. Honestly, I didn't learn shit. SWOT analysis. We still joke about like a couple of things that we did with my marketing buddies, but I have one that is still a really good buddy. I had him on season 1, episode 9, Mike Peltier. So we used to test market shit, right? So jokes, right? We would test market it, and then we would very quickly find out if it's shit. So like your poop shoot, like the way I shot it down, that's how we'd be like, no, you got to test market that further. But poop shoot, yeah, there's definitely something there. But I love your marketing genius. What are you classically trained in? Is there something, or you're a musician?
I play the drums. I used to play the drums. I haven't played for a very long time. But yes, I grew up. I started actually on saxophone when I was real young.
Sexy sax man.
Yeah. And then I sang, in the choir groups and whatnot.
Nice.
But
this is before your balls dropped?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I took a marketing class in high school, but that's probably about the extent of my marketing.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It was one of my favorite classes, although I don't really remember what they taught us in it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, I don't know. I remember things like, how to present things like, and this came in handy when helping build websites, is like, presenting how you want to present things to make it appealing to people.
Yep.
Such as like using a light background versus a dark background and what that can represent and this and that. And, using different colors and where to use them, stuff like that.
You said this and that. Check out this and that.
Oh, hey,
Josh and Zach.
They are going to be guests on my podcast. I'm talking to them on Sunday.
Awesome. And I'm talking to Josh for the new year too.
Yeah, dude. We did their podcast a few weeks ago. Those guys are great, man. I can't wait to talk to them.
Yeah, dude. Like very, very. Speaking of authenticity, just cool dudes. I never met Zach, but I've been on some spaces, some of Josh's spaces, and he came into the FE space as well. And yeah, I like the sound of his jib, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But dude, I love your marketing. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later because there's some stuff that I want to do for kids specifically. So if you're interested, are you allowed to work with kids? Are you allowed to go around schools?
Yes.
Yeah, you're okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be online, but yeah, so we'll talk because honestly, dude, look, I'm not going to say real recognizes real, but I do consider myself a marketer. I'm classically trained in that. So yeah, you definitely have it, whatever that it is.
Yeah.
Because even I hear you on the Phone Booth podcast, and just when you're clipping, for example, clipping time, like you have this comedic timing, and yeah, you're very creative, and I am really happy to have you in my circle because I feel like it raises me as well to a higher standard.
Well, yeah, man. I'm glad that you're getting more involved because I know there was talk about you guys doing some spaces before and doing some stuff before, and I was kind of bummed when they didn't work out, because and that's like I had you on. We did a little bonus episode, and it's a great conversation. I like having you around.
Yeah, and I can speak to that. So we did morning spaces for Phone Booth. I talked Ted into jumping on for half an hour, and we may bring them back. And we did it for about 2 weeks, and it's a great way for people on spaces to get to know you guys. I know it was really late for you, but Jonah was on there. Vince kind of, he was against the spaces. He was doing his own thing, kind of live playing the piano while he would do it on EV Mux. What happened with me is I just had some family shit I had to deal with, and then I also went through an ego death, my second one in a year.
An ego death? Is that what you said? Ego death?
An ego death, yeah. So the problem, as I see it, when you awaken too quickly and you don't know what the fuck to do with it, is it can take you into a depression. For very basic terms, it's a depression. And it was pretty bad this time. It was 6 weeks. And like most men, I just went inward. I don't ask for help. I'm just like, okay, been there, done that. I'll see the light. The one before was 2 months. And I haven't had long ones like this since I was like 21 when it first happened, when I had a 3-month one and I thought my life was over. So with that, I had a lot of time alone to really think about stuff and what I want to do. Spaces, I love spaces, but like Ted says, they're the wild, wild west. They tend to get...
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. But I was using it personally, first of all, trying to help men. So I had my morning spaces, the AA, AAA, AA for awakening, right? Essentially to help men that are going through it, because I know how hard it is when you're awakening, and AA for awakening. And personally, it's a good form of therapy. You talk to like-minded people. But I also found that I would get stuck way too long. I'd be stuck in 5-6 hour spaces because it got fire to the point where I had to start using a second phone just so I could leave a phone there and let people kind of, the space dwindle on its own. So it has its place. And I know even originally, Flat Earth Fridays, for example, that was an amazing space. So Sacred and Flurf, I know you guys had them on before your time. They were amazing. They would run it all the way 36 hours. And for people that are just kind of questioning or curious, it's such a great thing that you could just listen to something, even play it while you sleep at night, and it's still going in the morning. And you see, hey, wait a sec, I'm not crazy. The shit that I see is not.
We got Vince now for that.
Exactly, right? He essentially just go to Vince Sanat. He's always streaming with his AI with a chubby because he's just, I don't know. He's turned into a simp. I swear we should do an intervention or something. This guy, I'm starting to get concerned.
He needs something.
So back to you, sir. So you're classically trained, let's just say, or self-trained in drums and jazz, not jazz, saxophone. Is it true that the drummers get most of the pussy in the band?
Well, we do it with rhythm, so I don't know.
All right, let's see the guns. Do you still have the guns from the drums? All the drummers are all fucking jacked.
Like I said, I haven't played in quite some time.
You know what? Just grab another sip of your Monster. I'm disappointed. We got to get you playing the drums again. Dude, you could technically be playing the fucking drums on these lives. Like even just a little when somebody says the Fozzy joke.
I have three drum kits and they're all in storage up in Vegas.
Well, do me a favor. I'll do a trade-off. You take out one drum kit, something small, make it work, and I'll do something in return.
I was actually thinking about it because on my Facebook page, I keep getting pop-ups for people selling electronic drums around me, like on Marketplace. Yep. There's a bunch of them around here. I was like, holy shit, maybe I should get one.
Yep. But my little, he's a big now. I call him Weak Sauce. He'll probably be on tonight. He started drumming, I think, at like 16. He's got one of those silent ones as well, the digital ones.
You have kids that old? Oh.
No, he's my little brother from Big Brothers. And now he's 20, 21, 22. I lose track, but he's just about to graduate in business.
Little brother, big brother, like the
Big Brothers,
program?
Big Sisters. Yeah. So I kind of hit so I'm in marketing, sales, and I was working at Dell Computers at the time. My password was literally disengaged because I was just fucking disengaged. I was like, you ever see the movie Office Space?
Love it.
Michael Bolton. I literally had him as my background for Twitter when I first started Twitter because I had to run Twitter. I was just overworked. Now, I met a lot of great people, learned a ton, but I was like, man, I fucking hate this shit. And I almost went back to teaching. So then I spoke to one of my bosses and he says, why don't you try Big Brothers? So I'll call him out here, Shane Cameron. I'm trying to get him on here. He told me when he did Big Brothers, he had such a great time. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let me try it out. So by having this 8-year-old, because he was 8 when I met him, and I'd have to meet him, not have to, but I would try to meet him once a week or every other week. It completely took care of that creative aspect. And as much as I'll say this, Big Brothers, I would love to have you guys as a sponsor. The problem with Big Brothers, Big Sisters is most of the people that go are women. So Big Sisters, they got covered. Big Brothers, it's hard for them to get men because men tend to think, this kid doesn't have a father. And all of a sudden I got to be a father figure. And what if I can't be there for him and all this? It's all bullshit. Honestly, they have the best training. It's like a full, I don't know, hours. I think everybody should have to do the Big Brothers training before even having a child. The beauty of having a little is you don't have to teach them shit. You just got to teach them how to be a man. So I would take my little guy, bring him to my basketball games, bring him in the change room, be like, look, you're going to see some shit. You're going to hear some shit. Guys swearing, you need to know this, but don't use it. So he got to meet all my teammates. He would call them all uncle. I would teach him chess. Sometimes we would play while I was warming up. I'm playing him chess on the side. I take him grocery shopping, show him, hey, this is what happens if you don't get this proper stuff on the list. You're going to get in trouble by wifey. So just teaching him kind of life shit. And honestly, he's turned into a great human being. And now I can rely on him. I just sent him a bunch of messages before this. Anytime I need something, He's a brother for life. So I highly recommend this to anybody. Big brothers, big sisters, check the local one. And you don't have to be a good person. In fact, it helps if you're a piece of shit, because you show them what not to do. That's what you can say. Look, I made lots of mistakes, and you can learn from that. So I don't consider myself a good human being. I just try to do right, when given the opportunity.
Well, that's kind of like, what my mother did, because I never had a father growing up. I mean, I had one, he just wasn't there. And so that's when she contacted the Phoenix Suns and got me involved with them. Amazing. And then I had two former Suns players, I'll name drop right here, Neil Walk and Connie Hawkins. They became like father figures to me.
Connie Hawkins?
Yeah.
Ooh, Neil Hawk, I don't know.
Neil Walk.
Neil Walk.
Okay. He was University of Florida. He was the famous coin flip with him and Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah. They did the famous coin flip, and Phoenix Suns lost, and so they didn't get Kareem. They got Neil Walk.
Oh, fuck. That's funny.
Yeah. So when I met him, he was paralyzed in a wheelchair. And Jerry Colangelo, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, had made a custom van for him so that he was able to drive and whatnot.
That's amazing. This is the older Colangelo, right? The father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We had Brian Colangelo at the Raptors. He turned it all around.
I met him so before I was a ball boy, I was kind of like an intern in the executive offices before I became a ball boy. So I would run around the executive offices and do anything I could to help anybody. And Brian had an office there, and so I'd help him from time to time. It was interesting. So it was a great experience. That was kind of like my Big Brother program.
And this is something I tell my little guy all the time. All you need is one. You just need one person that believes in you, that takes you under their wing, and it can make all the difference. Sometimes even perfect strangers, just saying the right thing can lead. So that's why I like kindness. Dave Chappelle had a thing about it. I'll pop it under here about that kindness is a currency, and we need to get back to that kindness currency. Now, I'm not talking about nice. Fuck nice, right? Nice guys finish last. The rabbit's nice. The rabbit gets fucked.
Kind isn't always nice.
It isn't. Sometimes you got to be kind to yourself, and sometimes you got to be kind to people that, quite frankly, don't deserve it. But if you have enough empathy where you're like, you know what, this person's probably going through it, you can still lead with kindness, with firm boundaries, and do the right thing instead of fucking ruining their days. But that's awesome that you had that. So what did these guys do in particular? So he was in a wheelchair at the time. Did you ride on his, did you sit on his lap and he took you around?
No. Why you go gay more than Vince does sometimes?
I know. It's just for fun, dude, because it loosens people up, honestly. That's why.
No, but
I'll tone down the gay. Hold on. Let me.
There you go. If you could just mute it, that would be better.
All right.
So it started just by going to lunch with them. And I remember we would go to the Copper Club restaurant, which was at the America West Arena where the Suns play. Now it's called something else. Now they just changed it again. It was Footprint Center. They just changed it again. But and they had this really super nice restaurant called the Copper Club. And I went to lunch with them, and then they made me call them every day from that point. My mother was worried about me joining gangs and whatnot, because I lived like in a pretty rough area where there was a bunch of gangs and whatnot. But I would have never joined a gang. She was had nothing to worry about, but she was worried nonetheless.
Yeah.
And so I started, I would have to call them every day. And then after the school year was over, I started going down to the arena every day. And that's when I would be around the offices every day. And it was working a lot in the community relations department. I helped design and write some of the media guides, which they give out to all the press before the year. They have these books that have all the player stats and history and whatnot. And I would just go around, and anything I could do, if it was making copies for someone, or going to pick up someone's lunch for them, or whatever. And what was awesome is I would always get free lunch at the Copper Club restaurant. So I was at a super nice restaurant every day getting good food, and it was awesome.
Shout out to the Copper Club.
If you're in Phoenix, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore.
Son of a bitch.
All because this is back in the 90s, back in the 1900s.
1900. So, but you were there when Barkley was there. So you were there as part of the
Barkley used to come in and film. We had our own ball boy basketball league. And I was on the all rookie team. What? Barkley used to come in and film the games for us.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so stand up dude, you got a good vibe from him.
Yeah.
And how long?
But it was after the championship. The championship run was 93, when they lost to the Bulls.
Yep.
And then I came in 94.
Okay.
So
okay. And then soon after, I guess he went to Houston and kind of finished his. I just saw something recently about that. Again, very humble dude, tells it like it is. I love how his original commercial, tied in with Big Brothers. I'm gonna pop it here when he says, "I am not a
role model."
Role model. Such a good commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, don't look up to these athletes. Don't look up to these entertainers as your role model. In fact, there's a saying, be careful. Do not meet your heroes. Have you ever had one of those experiences?
Yeah, like I was just saying a few minutes ago. I'm not going to name names, but, just some of the rock musicians that I met was just like, ugh. And it still happens to this day. Like there's certain musicians that I've become friends with over the years. They give me their phone numbers and we're buddies, and social media has driven us apart because of stupid politics.
Yeah.
Like I had one guy who's like, well, if you support Trump, I can't be your friend anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's so stupid, But and then you just, like I said, you see some of their bad behaviors, and it's just like, ugh. And that's why I kind of had to get away from wanting to pursue something in the music industry, is just because I just got disgusted with some of it,
So question for you. How long were you with the Suns? And during this time, this is a little personal. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Were you kicking back to your mom? Were you taking care of your mom too as a result of this experience? Because clearly you were making some money, right?
No. We didn't get paid at all.
No, it was all free?
Yeah, it was volunteer work.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
how long did you do it for?
It was about a year and a half.
Nice.
Year and a half. And well, if you include the the time in the offices, almost 2 years. But so like I live pretty far from the arena. So it was like I would get out of school and I would have to take the bus from my school to all the way to downtown, which was a long ass drive. Luckily, at that time, my aunt was a I forget, what do you call him? Like not a custodian, but like a chaperone for the arena. So she would seat people, wherever they seat at the arena. She didn't work for the Suns, but she worked for the arena. So she worked during that time. So I was able to get rides home from my aunt at night after the game. So it just kind of worked out pretty good.
Nice.
So there, as far as kicking back to moms, there was really none of that because we didn't get paid, but we did get, they would give us shoes and they would give us, uniforms and hats and all kinds of stuff. We got tickets to the games. Like I used to get all access passes to like the arena football team that we had, Arizona Rattlers. There's still a team, and there was like an arena soccer team too back then. And I had a badge. I could just go right into the locker rooms for those, and it was awesome. Nice. So there's a lot of perks and benefits, but no money.
And in the ball boy league, where you were all rookie team, did you guys play on the actual Phoenix Suns court, like the real court?
Like
the practice court. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Did you ever get to shoot on the real court?
Oh yeah. And we, during the games, we would rebound for the players.
Yeah.
During the games.
Did you ever hit like a half court shot or anything? Anything memorable?
I mean, I led the league in 3-pointers, percentage.
Oh shit!
But I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
Are you a lefty or a righty?
Right.
All right. Let me see your form. Just do a shot right now. All right. All right. All right. All right.
In fact, Neil Walk taught me. He said, make sure you flick your wrist and look like a fag. He would say back then.
Perfect. I mean, that's the way to do it. So, no, because before this, you said you're gonna bust my ass in basketball. I'm paraphrasing. So, yeah, one time we will get a game, maybe horse, maybe 1-on-1. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what ailments we're dealing with at that time. Okay, so then when you finished there, what was up next for you?
Finish up being a ball boy?
Yeah, with the Suns. Like, what did that lead to?
Well, I could have continued doing it had I not moved to Las Vegas. you know, but we moved to Las Vegas, so I had to give that up. And then, you know, it was just kind of finishing high school, figuring out what to do, you know, growing up on the Strip was pretty wild. You know, we were right there when Tupac got shot. It was on my 16th birthday.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Have you gone down that conspiracy?
What, that he's still alive?
Yeah. And that he's an actor in general.
Yeah, I've heard things, you know, he's alive in Cuba, stuff like that. I've never really did a deep dive and looked too far into it, but you know, I've heard the rumblings.
I'll add something below. So the fittest flat earther, Tyler, claims he found him in Jurassic 5. He's that he still raps, and the guy's admitted a few times, and I don't know, it's very uncanny.
I've seen a video of a dude that's about roughly the same age that he would be and has a striking similar appearance to him. You know, I mean, it's entirely possible.
Entertainment.
You know? I think it's more accurate that he probably is no longer with us. I mean, especially after, you know, everything that's come out with the Diddy stuff, and Keefe D finally got arrested. You know, Keefe D got arrested right down the street from where I used to live. It's funny. Like like it was crazy in Vegas, man. Like I would drive to work, and I would go down this street, and I would pass Wayne Newton's house, Mike Tyson's house, Tom Selleck, Suge Knight. You know, like all these people just on my way to work every day. It was nuts.
That's awesome. Tom Selleck had the best mustache ever, man.
Yeah. Montel Williams used to come into this gas station that I worked at and buy tabloid magazines. It was so funny.
Really?
Yeah, he would come in and like buy like the National Enquirer. And
I wonder, because back in the day, those were so outlandish and so crazy. I wonder if they were used to show the truth in plain sight. I mean, if he's buying it, I mean, he was banging Kamala, wasn't he, at one point?
Yeah. I heard that. But
okay, so you're in Vegas, and then so how'd you get into the music scene?
Just by hanging out at the clubs. Actually, it started with the radio station. Like I became friends with like some of the DJs. Like I would go down into the studio for the rock station, Comp 92.3, and I would sit in the studio with the DJs. And sometimes they would have me do like little funny bits and whatnot. And, you know, I'll just sit and hang out with them and just learn about DJing. You know, it's pretty neat. And then like they would always be having events, you know, at this club called Pinky's, which was like the big rock and roll club at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was underage at the time. I think I was 19, you know. And but because I was always with them, you know, I always got in. You know, and then of course the club got to know me, so I could start going there without people, you know, and that's where all the musicians would hang out. You know, they would have a show somewhere in town and end up at Pinky's at some point. You know, so I got to meet everybody.
And then when did you start playing the drums and the sax?
Saxophone was probably 4th or 5th grade.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was early, and I was fucking terrible at it, which is why I can curse on here, right?
Yeah. I'm not Jonah Stormrider. So.
But yeah, 4th or 5th grade, and then I was so terrible that they was like, "Why don't you play the drums?" I was like, "All right, I'd rather do that anyways."
Is the sax something you might pick up again?
No,
you don't have a passion for it.
No. I might pick up the drums again, you know, at some point, but
well, I'm gonna hold you to it. Just to this point, you got 3 and you might get the digital. So the trade-off is I'll do something in return. You bring back the drums, you think of something for me to do, and we'll push each other.
I want one of them silver coins, man. How do I get one of them silver coins?
Fuck yeah. Are you a Trekkie?
No.
Son of a bitch. Let me see what I got for you. Let me see. This one's here. Here's an empty box right here.
All right.
We'll start with that. All right. You like flowers?
I like to smoke them.
You like to smoke them? Okay, let me see what I got. You like Canada? How's that? You like Canada?
I love the 51st state.
Okay. Do you like? Don't call us that, son of a bitch. Do you like ladybugs? Daisies. I got a ladybug daisy one here.
A ladybug daisy?
Right here.
Oh, look at that.
Let me show you.
Oh, what are some Bitcoin ones that you had? Those are neat.
I got a Bitcoin one. This one is already going to Admiral. I sent it to him and it got sent back because he is not a he was questioning the shape of the earth.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Is that a compass too?
On it has a it might be a compass. Maybe it's the way out. But it still has a little globe. So anyway, so this is his. I'm just holding it for when we meet in person. Shout out to Admiral. I'm going to send this to you via DM. And let me see. But I do have some Trekkie ones. I got a good one for you. All right. Now this one, the box alone. Look, it's all old and tattered. So my brother gets...
Is that a representation of me, old and tattered?
Yeah, it's perfect. Oh, dude. No, this one's gorgeous. Son of a bitch. Okay, this has your name all over it. The other one that I was thinking, I already gave to my little. This is a Popejoy Mint LTD Mint House. Check out this bad boy. I'm going to take it out. All right, so this has the Queen on it. So you can pay allegiance to the Queen. Okay.
All right.
And then on the other side, it has another, let's see who that is. I think it's the Queen again. And it's like a postage stamp. It's 150th, 1 penny. And it says anniversary crown penny black. But this is a silver ounce.
It'll go with the King. I got the King right here.
Well, this is the beauty. So you got the King. You can actually go. I went to my local jeweler. I'll call him out, Richie. Nicest guy. Still messes up my name. He calls me Latch. He's been calling me Latch for a decade, Latch, and I don't have the heart to correct him. And so that's my nickname, Latch. And so I took this 2-ounce silver bullet and he put this prong on there for me so I can wear it. It's actually really good to wear these around your heart if you do your research about toroidal field, things like that. But yeah, this one is yours, buddy. When I come to Vegas, or if you're ever in Toronto, or if we do a reunion, I'll set this.
I'm in Arizona. I don't live in Vegas anymore.
Son of a bitch. All right, so if I'm ever, then you got to show me Albuquerque. You guys have really good meth down there.
Albuquerque.
Actually, no. I'm thinking New Mexico. I'm thinking New Mexico. See, nobody cares about your fucking states, fucking Americans. But all right, so you're in Arizona. I've never been. So it's a good excuse for me to come to Arizona. All right, but you're only getting this if you take out the fucking drums. Start drumming again, figure out something, incorporate it into Here's the Thing podcast, Tuesdays at 6, or even on your lives with Phone Booth. Because yeah, dude, you have a lot of talent, I'm assuming. So let's bring that shit out.
That's what we do, baby. Bring shit out.
All right, so speaking of silver, do you mind if I do a quick plug for my sponsor?
Go for it. It's your show.
CanAmBullion.com. My boy Mike Piccioni, michaelpiccioni.com. Go to CanAmBullion.com for all of your silver precious metals needs. If you're looking to invest more than 5-10K, you can actually set a meeting with him. He'll tell you exactly how to do it, including I don't know what you guys have. You guys some 401k bullshit down there. We have TFSAs here in Canada, but there's even a way to hold physical silver in that as an investment. So talk to Mike, check out canambullion.com. They'll ship right to your house, nice and discreet, and you can get anything under the sun, including like 100 ounce bars and even massive stuff. So it's a great way to grow your wealth in ounces. Let's just say that, in physical hard assets. All right, back to you.
I'm going to have to talk to Ted about my 401k plan. This is bullshit.
I know, right? What is Ted paying you in right now?
Well, he doesn't pay me.
And poop
bastard.
Well, eventually that's the plan, right? Is to get you guys to the point where you can do this completely
well,
full-time.
I mean, any monies that come in go right back into the cast for all of us.
That's what it is, right?
It costs money to produce podcasts. That's what people don't realize. They think, oh, you just make a video and put it up. No, that's not how it goes.
No, this shit is hard. Like even just being camera facing, you know, it takes a lot of practice. And
well, it takes a lot of you know, there's days that you just don't want to go on camera, but you have to, you know, like you're not feeling well, but guess what? You gotta get through it somehow, you know.
Yeah, like
and it's like, you know, now it's like, you know, 3, 4, 5 days a week sometimes, you know. So
well,
it takes some getting used to.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
right?
Not the worst problem.
It's good these guys push you. You started and you know, how many episodes do you have now? And Here's the Thing podcast.
I think this past week was episode 21, I want to say, but it's like, but it's, you know, there's other episodes recorded, you know, that were recorded for bonus content, stuff like that. So
like, I mean, the one we did.
Yeah, like, so the number's higher than it really is, you know. Then if you add in all the live streams and then however many times I've been on phone booth, and I mean, you know, we're probably getting close to, I don't know, are we getting close to 75 or 100? I don't know.
And where are you looking? Like, what are your goals with it? Do you have like a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan?
No, not really. I mean, to be quite honest, it wasn't even really a plan to start a podcast. You know, I did a couple of podcasts, and one of them was with Ted, and it was just weird timing. Like when I did my episode with them, the first episode, the other guys had kind of bailed on Ted, you know, the former co-hosts, and so like I recorded, and then Vince recorded, I believe, the week following my episode, and both of us at the same time had hit Ted up and said, hey, you know, if you need a co-host, you know, and then it just kind of grew from there. I wasn't really planning on having a podcast, but here we are.
Okay. And do you play the guitar at all?
I play the guitar terribly, but you know, I enjoy it. It's fun.
Okay. So the reason I ask is, you know, in terms of your 1 year, 3 year, 5, everybody way overestimates what they can do in 1 year, but they way underestimate what they can do in 3. So part of what I do is I do marketing. So this is my marketing side, and I do personal coaching. So for you, I would like to help you marketing free of charge, or if you want to trade off, I would love your drum skills. Maybe give my little guy, he's 10 years old, drum lessons. I'll get him like one of these digital kits.
I don't,
and I can do marketing for you.
From me, man. I could probably set him up with some drum. Bro, I haven't picked up sticks in 15 years.
So,
you know, I have to get
like riding a bike.
Up.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. It's just basics. He's never even touched drums. But anyway, I'm happy to trade off time to kind of help you ideate and, you know, bring minds together and look at what else you could do. For example, Lux, at a very basic level, they should be your sponsor and paying you on a regular for mentioning them. So that's the kind of stuff I'll be talking to you. And Lux, yep, I'm the guy that fucked it up for you. You're getting free advertising from this dude that's gonna make it massive.
Well, they're already a massive company. I mean,
I know they are.
They sell millions of bidets. It's wild.
And Toto's out there too. And for sure, Lux doesn't have Toto's market share. So, you know, this is how you do it, through the right podcasts. So anyway, we'll talk about that.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, what about a lady in your life? Are you married?
No.
No? Do you ever plan on getting married?
No.
What about kids? You can have them without marriage, you know?
Yeah, you know, when I was younger, it sounded like a cool idea, but now that I'm a little bit older, I think, you know, the ship has sailed on that one.
You realize they don't come out of your vagina, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
Your age has nothing to do with it.
I know, but I don't want to be, you know, 70 years old trying to raise a teenager. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't sound appealing in the slightest.
Yeah,
but I do have a lady that I speak to, you know, and you know, we're seeing where this goes. So
nice. Okay, so is it like, is it similar to Vince and Maya, or this is like
no, this is a real human being.
Real human being
with feeling and emotion.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. So in terms of your downtime, what do you do? What are your hobbies outside of podcasting?
I mean, I love playing pool.
Nice.
You know, there's really not too much downtime, you know, like if I'm not podcasting, I'm trying to grow my X page. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you know, that's started out as my bread and butter before podcasting, you know.
And you hit 10K on that, right?
Yeah. I think we're almost to 10.5, I think.
Okay, that's awesome, dude. That's really good. So yeah, I mean that's part of the long-term plan too. Are you on any of the other socials?
Yeah, I do Instagram. I just started a TikTok. You know, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Substack, of course. But
okay,
and
so
then
you blast out.
I do Facebook. I have a personal Facebook page, but I don't share that with anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe one day you'll bring me in your inner circle where I can come on your Facebook. Yeah. So funny enough, this is my handle. This is like my name. Like this whole idea of doxing, I don't know. I guess I had aliases back when I was in the crypto space, but yeah.
Well, you know, it's because like when I started X, like we were just talking shit, and these political people get all crazy about it.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, after so long, I was like, dude, I gotta step away from this, you know. And then I started just getting more into things that I'm into, comedy and sports and whatnot. You know, I'm one of those sports nerds, you know.
Yep.
You're not like the other guys, but
so what's if you had to rank your sports in terms of professional sports?
Basketball, football.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I used to play baseball when I was younger. I liked baseball. I have a hard time watching a baseball game today, unless it's, you know, one of the late October games when it's kind of exciting.
Yep.
But you know, I can't watch baseball too much anymore. And as a Cubs fan, it's been brutal, you know, for the last 120 years.
Well, dude, I mean, with the Jays, they were in the World Series. I didn't catch a single game.
It's funny because I was talking to Meyer during the World Series, and he was like, "I'm rooting for the Dodgers." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I was rooting for the Jays. People were talking about about the game. I know people were always hurrying home, but I was like, man, what I did see, I'm like, there's some fuckery going around here. Like, really, the Jays should have won that.
Well, all sports are rigged. You know, and I was talking with Haywood and Jonah both about this, and it's just kind of, you know, because they have the Pick Is In podcast.
Yep.
And
that's what, Saturdays at 11?
Yep. Okay. And 11 p.m. Eastern. And you know, I have a hard time with betting on sports because, you know, they're labeled an entertainment agency just like wrestling. So they can pick the winners of the games and it's completely legal. Now, having that type of business model is a direct conflict for betting. Why would anyone want to bet on something where the fix is in?
Yep.
You know, so it's just stupid to me.
And look, for those of you that don't believe this, first of all, don't use Google. Just go to your favorite AI and ask them why it's an entertainment.
Go to Maya and ask her.
Yeah, go to Maya. Or follow Haywood. The Pick Is In, and I mean, first of all, if you want to bet, you'll have better odds. You just have to be right 51% of the time, right?
I suppose.
If you're disciplined. But yeah, same. Back in the day, for me, it's basketball. It's always been NBA first. Back in the day, they had this thing called Pro Line, and I think it's still here. And this is when we first got the Raptors in 95, but they took it away, the betting. They said, we'll give you the NBA team, but then you can't bet on it.
Yeah.
Which back then, I'm actually glad because I probably would have been betting on a lot of games like a lot of young people do right now. My unsolicited advice is if you're going to bet on, you know, assets, buy silver, right? Like just fucking put that money, buy yourself a silver coin and sit on it. Or, you know, if you understand crypto, understand the main ones and just see how the markets move and realize that money in itself, money as they call it, is just currency. It's a form of energy. It's a current. And I have a great episode on this in episode 2 with Mike Piccioni, the guy from Can Bullion, where he talks about this.
Silver, I really like silver a lot because, you know, gold is great, you know, and it keeps going up. But the problem is you can't trade a gold bar for a loaf of bread if you need it. You know what I mean? So if shit does hit the fan and we're bartering with coins and stuff again, silver is a little bit more friendly because you can, you know, trade for it, you know?
Absolutely. So when I first got into silver, it was about $32 when I bought my first. When I met Mike, it was 42 Canadian, so about $30 US. Now this is about 85 Canadian, I think 60 something for an ounce. Mike's claim, and he hasn't been wrong so far, is this is going to be worth $1,000 an ounce. Now, to your point, when it's $1,000 an ounce, unfortunately, things are going to be so expensive that it'll cost you $1,000 just to get your groceries. But if shit hits the fan, you can use this to get your groceries. Now, the alarm went off right now. I told you I'm going to give you a warning at 1 hour because this could be the shortest episode. I know you don't like long form, so you have the option right now. We can kill it right now, or we can.
All right, we'll talk to you later, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go. Come on.
All right, so we're going to go another half hour. I'll set the timer. That is my next shortest episode. Some of these, Timbo, I think episode 4 in season 2 took us 5 hours plus, and we could have kept going. But I told him, dude, I'm gonna get really weird the longer we go. But that was on 9/10. It was during the Charlie Kirk thing. We didn't even talk about it at the time. I'm like, you know, but some shit happened. But that was a great conversation. So let me start the 30-minute timer. All right, so let's get to know you on a personal level. The beauty of the Trance Lucid Conversation. So part of why I started this is to have a soul-to-soul conversation with people. It's a lot easier to do one-on-one. I believe most people are in a trance. The NPCs, the normies, the plebs around us, call them no-coiners, globies. And but you can get them into lucid conversations and really get, you know, I guess open their minds. More so with guests, I try to talk about things like, you know, people see you on all the different properties doing really cool shit, but on a personal level, for them to get to know you on a personal level, how do they get to know, like, what is it about you that you haven't shared in other, or that you're afraid of sharing? And I can kind of get out of you.
Man, that's tough. I don't know, because I'm pretty much an open book, you know. I mean, I share everything. I did an episode with Meyer where we talked about addiction, you know.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I mean, there's really,
I'll pop that under here.
Yeah, nothing I won't talk about.
So I struggle with addiction in a slightly different way. I know I have an addictive personality. That's why I don't gamble. That's why I'm very disciplined in the things that I don't allow myself to do. My current addiction that and I'm working on is food, right? So fasting really helps with that. What's one addiction that you've overcome, or maybe one that you're struggling with that maybe it may help others if we talk about?
I overcome heroin.
Really? Awesome. Okay. How'd you do that?
Well, you know, and this is probably not the best model approach for people, is I had to move back to Las Vegas.
Wow.
I was living in Tucson at the time, and I moved back to Vegas to do it. In fact, heroin was actually easier for me to quit than pills were. Pills were a monster.
What kind of pills?
Opiates, you know, but I would mix them too with barbiturates.
What's a barbiturate?
Like Valium, Xanax, stuff like that.
Was this like uppers and downers?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably, most people would put them as a downer, but like with opiates, like Percocets and stuff like that, they always picked me up. You know, there was always more of an upper for me. And then that led into heroin, you know, because they're on the same level. So it's like I would smoke heroin to bring me up so I could function.
So what's the difference between heroin and cocaine?
A lot. Different
Okay.
plant.
Okay.
Cocaine, in fact, none of this stuff is actually bad on a level, like if it's used properly, like with like cocaine.
Yeah.
Like if you just chew on the coca leaves, in it and of itself is probably not too bad of a thing.
Yeah.
When you make things like these illegal, then people are committing crimes to get something to help them. It all used to be legal at one point.
Yep.
Longshoremen back in the early 1900s would do heroin all the time, and that's how they functioned. And if it's managed and regulated properly, it's probably not such a bad thing. But the problem is that people get strung out on things. Heroin is a tough one. And a lot of people think I'm crazy, when I say things like that. Like, I used to see a therapist and she thought I was insane because I would say all drugs should be legal.
Yep.
But I firmly believe that. Take away the crime and get people help instead of making them criminals and putting them in jail is probably a much better approach.
I agree with that. And just disclaimer, this is entertainment only. We're not giving health advice. Don't do drugs, kids. We're not saying drugs are good. We're saying drugs shouldn't be legalized so that the nefarious activity around drugs can be mitigated.
There's a certain honesty within drugs. They work. They do what they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have some asshole that cuts them with other things. Like a lot of people are cutting coke with fentanyl today, which I don't know why you would want to do that, because they're like opposite feelings of one another.
Yep. So I even saw here in Canada now they sell these kits. I'm not sure if this is for heroin specifically, but I guess this kit that like can help save somebody's life.
Narcan.
Yeah. Okay, so heroin. So you went to Vegas. Is this because you didn't have access to it, or you were able to keep more busy, or?
Yeah, I had a job opportunity. So, and I credit my friend, shout out to Brandon Powers. He opened a bar in Vegas. So I was working in the bar industry, which is another, I don't recommend this for getting help. But he opened the world famous Golden Tiki Bar. This is an amazing place. You can give it a Google. It's just it's like
Golden Tiki.
Yeah, it's a trip, this bar. But and I had a place to live. I moved in with an old roommate of mine, and so it was a fairly easy transition for me. But things didn't work out. I wasn't making the kind of money I needed to after about 6 or 7 months. So then I ended up moving back to Arizona to be closer to family. And I actually relapsed once when I came back to Arizona. I was living in the Phoenix area, and I went all the way to Tucson to score because I knew I could get it in Tucson. I didn't know people in Phoenix that messed around with it. So, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. And I went down there, scored, came back, and crazy enough, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she asked me to go to a meeting with her, like an AA meeting.
Yep.
And I thought that it was for me. I didn't know she had her own little problem going on. So we went there, and I saw another famous musician. I don't know if I should say his name or not, but I credit him with saving me, because if I hadn't met him that day, I don't know where I would be as far as my recovery goes. But I bawled my eyes out to him, and this guy's a world famous Grammy-winning musician.
Wow.
And he gave me his number, and I started calling him and talking to him, and it just kept me on the right path. And I've been clean for 10 years now. Let's see, where are we at? 25, almost 10 years.
You know what?
In a couple months, it'll be 10 years.
Say his name. It's a positive thing.
Well, David Ellison from the band Megadeth.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about approaching him and having him on my podcast to talk about addiction. He works with the program called Road Recovery for musicians that are on tour constantly. And so that's a pretty cool program that he does. But
so I'll tell you what, man. Sounds like an amazing dude. What would you say to him? Just look right in the camera, say it, and you can clip it and send this to him to get him on your podcast.
Thanks, man. You saved my life. Come on my podcast and talk to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to think about the approach,
I think it's as simple as that, buddy.
It is. It is, and that's a thing that everybody should realize is that keep it simple.
Yeah.
Simple is usually the best approach. If you make it too complex, then you're losing something, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Yep. I've often wanted to go to an AA meeting. I think I struggled with alcohol, and we'll get back to the heroin because I want to hear more about it. I think I was self-medicating probably since I started drinking heavily, which was pretty much every day in university. And then 3 more years in South Korea, we were just partying every
you
night.
Still drink today, right? Do you still drink?
I will, so it's more purposeful. Like, for example, if I drink Grey Goose. I have all sorts of other things that it affects. Like, it affects my body. I have swelling I have this condition, chronic inflammatory response syndrome. So certain sugars, like if I just have a little bit of ketchup sneak in, all of a sudden, my foot will get swollen, or my knee or my pinky. So same thing with the wrong alcohol. So if I drink, for example, I drink Grey Goose, something that's triple distilled, and then I know how to mix it and just the right amount where it's, I can have a buzz, but like I don't get smashed anymore. Sometimes, like maybe I got a wedding I got to go to in January, and I said to wifey, "Yeah, I'm getting drunk there." Like, she'll drive, but it'll be purposeful. I stick to like Coors Light, the light stuff. But yeah, I have no business drinking with the shit that I deal with, including depression. Right, it is a depressant. But I've always wanted to go to an AA meeting, more so just to, because I have this ability to have. I just feel like people are. Okay, I'll speak for myself. There's sometimes you want to escape your reality, and because of that, you might be chasing highs. And when I was younger, I was chasing highs a lot. So I do understand my addictive personality in that and trying to get a lot done with that. But with the crash, it's just not worth it. I think the best way to put it is like playing with the dragon's tail. Once you get older and wiser, you realize, man, like, and especially you have responsibilities, like it's just not worth it. But I've always wanted to go to an AA meeting, and I really like what it's about. The poem Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow, the Serenity Prayer is my favorite prayer. And I think that there's a spiritual aspect of AA that most people don't realize. Not so much religious, but, believing in a higher power. And I really like that. And that's something that I wanted to emulate as part of, the AA for Awakening, and kind of what we're going to do tonight, Friday at 9. I'm not going to say the name yet, but, in terms of giving men in particular a place where they could come and see that there's others like them struggling, and it's okay. And fuck, it's on you. You got to figure it out. But there's others that do what you do and just don't give up. Hold on. So back to you, sir. So how did you... Then when you had that relapse, what happened? Did you have family or no, sorry, it was David that helped you. So you texted him what, next day? How long did it take you to reach out to him?
Well, I mean, I went probably for a week straight to meetings, and I would see him every day at the meetings. So the calling really didn't start till afterward, because I had to stop going to the meetings because they were on the other side of town.
Yeah.
And it was too long of a drive without me having a vehicle. Like, I would have to borrow a vehicle to get there, and it just, wasn't working for me.
Yep.
But that's when the phone calls started. But I didn't really work the program, and it works for most people. It wasn't something for me though.
Yep.
And I don't have any problem with
yep.
I don't have any problem with the program. I think it's a great idea. And it does help people. For me, I couldn't constantly dwell in my addiction. And I feel like that's something that they do. You go to, they'd say do 90 meetings in 90 days. Well, you're just like, I can't go listen to people talk about their addiction every day and then me talk about my addiction every day. It's too much. Like, I don't mind talking about it like we're doing right now. you know, but if I had to do it every day, I would think about using every day. You know what I mean? Like, it would drive me bananas.
Yeah, it'd be like me talking about Taco Bell daily.
You have a Taco Bell addiction?
Fuck yeah. Taco Bell. I guess not anymore, but yeah, I do like that crap. McDonald's, dude, like, right? And especially knowing what goes in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do
we just talked about it on my episode with El Poopy. We talked about the food industry, and they're about to start using 3D printed meats and shit. Oh,
yep. So I'm gonna put it below here, your conversation with him, as well, so people can catch up. But yeah, it's scary when you really think about it, and just do your own research. Again, use AI and just figure out, are there enough chickens? Great point. Kentucky Fried Chicken changed their name to KFC. Why would they do that? Oh, it's an acronym. Really? They just shortened it. Like, these brands, just like look at even Coca-Cola, right? Back in the day, they put cocaine in it, but they put real sugar. You could still get it. You could get kosher Coca-Cola over the holidays.
Well, like out here, we can get Mexican Coke, which has
the Mexican Coke, right? You know. So it's a little bit better. But look at anything. Gatorade's a great example too. It used to be a true electrolyte. Look at the ingredients and look at what it is now. So all these companies buy it up. They make it on the cheap. Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't know how it is in the States. Here it's crap now. All of a sudden they started to turn it into, more places have it and they get it shipped in, but there's a different taste to the film. So it's just, they add all these fucking cheap ingredients and they maintain the brand. And understanding marketing, it's all about the brand. People recognize it and they think they're getting the same product. Meanwhile, it's like, there should be a word for it, because we have inflation, shrinkflation. There should be something about ingredients. You and I will come up with it. How they just put way more ingredients and make it cheaper, just so it's pure margin.
Yeah.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Definitely. It's disgusting. Yeah. And it shouldn't be legal.
It
shouldn't be legal to poison people.
You know, I said this on our live the other day, with all the bullshit where they tell you don't do this, don't do that. Like, even right now, my Lucy gum, right? There's a warning. Nicotine is highly addictive. You look at cigarettes, they show fucking hearts out, lungs out, this and that. To me, I'm like, does the government really care about me that much? Yet I can go, McDonald's is across the street here, and I can have 24 Big Macs a day. There's no fucking warning on the McDonald's.
You can have 25 if you want.
Right? So, but this is what I'm saying. Does the government really care about me that much? So anytime you look at warnings, just think, methinks the lady doth protest too much, the famous Shakespearean. And there's probably something in there that is helping you. So with nicotine, pure nicotine, for example, I'm not advocating this. Again, there's not, but you know, I seen this on the podcast, and that's why I'd love to have them as a sponsor. I actually find it helps my mood to have 4 to 8 milligrams of nicotine. Now, if I smoke a cigar, I feel great. Now, wifey hates cigars or smoking in general, so I try to keep those for special occasions. But even this, it's like my breath, I gotta walk around with like Listerine or whatever to wash out my mouth, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it didn't work for you, the traditional AA. So then what did you find? Because this may help somebody going through it, any level of addiction, right? So what worked?
You know, and I am not trying to give advice, but for me, it was keeping it simple and just a little bit of marijuana, man.
Nice.
It takes that edge off and keeps my mind, you know, because if I don't have something, my mind is just spinning, you know, and this just kind of slows me down a little bit, take a look back, and it helps me function, you know. So I don't recommend it. You know, it doesn't work for everybody, and it can lead, you know, to more addiction.
Yep.
You know, and then, you know, also just, you know, getting back into going from being a complete addict, going back to working full time, you know, helps. You know, helps keeping busy helps.
Yep.
And then, you know, it's like having to, you know, look out for my mother, my grandmother, and some of my aunts out here, you know, because they're all getting older and their health is kind of deteriorating. So, you know, helping them was more important than getting fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
and purpose, right? A sense of purpose, a sense of self-worth, maybe something greater than yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. If you think about addiction, even from a personal, it comes from a lot of childhood trauma and a lack of self-worth and, trying to fix things within, because it's very hard to actually sit with your shit. If you're actually forced to sit with your shit without any sort of stimulants and really feel it, it's almost like you can open up these scars that you never really wanted to feel. But in opening up these scars, you can, especially if you use therapy or, other methods, you can actually heal yourself and actually stitch it up properly so that it no longer affects you, at least in your reactive life, how you react to things.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that really helped me, and I had this instilled in me long before addiction and AA and stuff like that, was Tony Robbins, man.
Yeah.
Just, I did his personal power program when I was probably 20 years old, I think I was. And, applying some of those principles to life and within getting sober helps a lot. If you can live by those methods, they really can lead you to success.
And this is really important. So Vince and I talked about this the other night because he was doing something with Napoleon Hill. And funny enough, we talked about it on the last podcast, but he helped me.
Napoleon Hill, is that an author?
Yeah, it's an author. It's an older one. Now, allegedly, the guy is a Freemason, stonecutter, as Jonah calls him.
Yeah.
But it's really important. And Vince made a great point, and I feel the same. Don't throw out the message because you don't like the messenger. So regardless of how you feel about Tony Robbins and he's, there still may be little gems in there that work for you. One for me is Jordan Peterson. Really resonated with me, most of the stuff that he talked about. And again, I try to take the, him as a, the ego out of it. But so he's got a great book, 12 Rules for Life. He's got an authoring program, which I bought, but I never finished. But basically that you go through your history and essentially it'll help you kind of figure out what, I guess, archetype you are. And a really good thing that he said, if you're going through it, is just wake up at the same time every day. Set that and everything else will fall into place, right? So if you don't know what to do, you're going through it, just set a time, wake up at the same time every day, and the rest will fall into place. So there's guys like this out there. I'm going to put something underneath. There's this dude called Source Messages on Instagram. His handle Source Messages. He did 99 days with Source. It's on, I bought it for $30 back in 2018 when I was going through some shit. And honestly, it's just 99 days of kind of cool little therapy things and kind of changing your angle perspective of how you're looking at stuff. It's free on SoundCloud, so I pop it below here. I recommend this to anybody. And I actually did it right now in my last ego death. I was on day 13, and I'm going to continue to do it because it gives you a different perspective. And it can help pull you out of shit and kind of guide you and teaches you forgiveness, gratitude, a bunch of cool techniques. So this is all there, and there's people there that want to help. And yeah, that's partly what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
With the Tony Robbins stuff, it's a 30-day program that I did. The Personal Power 2 program was 30 days long, where you listen to a tape about an hour long each day, and you're supposed to start on a Monday. You don't have to, obviously, but it just makes it simple. If you start on a Monday and you listen to one a day for Monday through Friday, and then you have a homework assignment, at the end. And then on the weekends, you have subliminal music CDs to listen to that instill positive messages and whatnot.
Nice.
I only made it through probably 12 days of it, but it really gets your ass in gear, and you really get to where you're high functioning, and if you can continue and get through 30 days, I can't imagine where I would be if I could do it all. It's just, it's tough.
Well, do you still have it?
Oh yeah. And it's really cool because it helps you take care of things that you normally wouldn't do, and help think about why you're not doing these things. So for example, let's say you've been putting off a phone call. You have to make this phone call, and for whatever reason you keep putting it off. And then you finally make that phone call and you realize well, what the fuck was I waiting for? You know, you get through the phone call and you're like, oh, that was nothing. Why was I tripping? It's kind of like another example is like, let's say you have a door at your house that you go in and out of every day, and every time you open and close that door, it squeaks.
Yeah,
you know, and you're like, oh, I got to put WD-40 on that, you know, but you get so caught up, you know, that you forget to do it. And then every time you go through it adds that little bit of stress. Like, oh, I gotta do that. I gotta do that. And then you finally do it. It's like, oh my God, it took 2 seconds. And now I don't have that little bit of stress every time I go in and out of this door. You know, it's just little things like that really can make a difference in your overall life.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can find it, this is something that would definitely help with what we're trying to do on Fridays at 9, even if we just play a little clip from it, you know, because I'm sure people can still get this stuff and probably at a highly discounted rate, right? Tony Robbins seems to want to help all and has like different levels for everybody.
You can get his book, Awaken the Giant Within. I believe it's free. I think you can get it on the Internet Archive.
Okay, we'll add it under here.
Yeah.
So
that's a great book to read, you know.
Yeah, anything that we mention here, like just add below and then it becomes a nice book and it's easy for you guys. You guys go below to the comments and you'll be able to get everything that we talk about. So you feel free to do that as well, to add it in the comments.
Sure.
I do my best to catch everything, but sometimes I miss things. Okay, so you were 12 days in and what happened? You started to see light and it just started to lift, or?
Well, it's like you just start getting so much accomplished, you know, like because part of it is like you make lists of things you got to do, you know, and then that list gets so long and you start crossing stuff off. And I mean, you're just in motion, always accomplishing a task or doing something, you know. And I mean, it gets to be a lot, you know. Like you're just busy, you know.
Yep. And that helps tremendously. And then what about, like, do you still get temptation? It's been 10 years. Are there times where you're
all the time?
Okay.
In fact, like I talked about it in the episode with Meyer that we did about addiction, that, you know, if somebody came up to me today and had heroin, I would probably hit it with them.
Oh, that's very honest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's that. Now, I would do that, but then I would also know that I have to cut this person off immediately because I can't be their friend anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's like,
but you'd hit it first and then
probably. Yeah. I mean, maybe I wouldn't, you know, I don't know.
And that's the question. How do we get you to the point where you would cut this person off immediately?
And it would have to be somebody that I didn't know already. You know what I mean? Because none of my friends are doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be around that type of people, you know?
Look, there's a saying, and it's kind of a cliche, but you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. And there's a lot of truth to that.
I'm part of the Wu-Tang Clan. Damn.
Dude, on this point, what happens when Wu-Tang comes after you? What are you going to do when they give you a cease and desist?
I don't think they will, but, you know, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We got cease and desist letters from Fox News Corporation back in the day because we had a business and we were Fox wholesale distributors. And so they took us to court, but we ultimately won in court because you can't trademark Fox.
Exactly.
It's an animal. You can't.
Exactly. Like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, in the end, the beauty of cease and desist is you get it and then it's up to you. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah. So I think they would probably get a kick out of it, if anything. And if anything, all I would have to do is change the logo. I could still use the name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So what are some positive addictions that you have?
Positive addictions.
Yeah.
Wanting to help people, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's a good thing, you know. Sometimes people can take it the wrong way, but I think, you know, I always want to see people do their best, live their best life. So if it's like, if I see something that you're doing wrong and I think I can help you in a way, I'm definitely going to try to, you know, like, and a lot of it is like little things that I've learned from like Tony Robbins, you know, tell someone, hey, if you make this slight adjustment in your approach, you're going to get better results, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you see a kid shooting around and he doesn't have his elbow tucked in or shooting off his palm, like you feel a need to be like, hey man, just put a little space on that, get your elbow under. But yeah, you're right. Some people don't like that. I had a case, I was shooting around at what is it, LA Fitness, right? I get there early when the pros would come. The pros would come at like 5. They're usually there 5 to 6. I get there around 6. And then there was this dude that was shooting, and I just saw the stuff that he was doing, and I went over and I just said, "Hey, man, like, and then he said to me, "Hey, like, I'm a third year playing at some college, local college here," and I'm like, "Okay, cool," like he took it the wrong way, but I was like, "You didn't ask what I played, you didn't, but I'm literally trying to help you," but he got offended, because he was doing some dumb shit, and I was trying to show him.
And that shit's stupid, because I mean, if you look at professionals, like let's say Tiger Woods, for example, he's got a coach and a caddy for his entire career that helps him with shit. Yep. He's not saying, I'm fucking Tiger Woods, I don't need your help. Yep. No, he's taking that help because that's how he improves.
Dude, I've heard some of the best presidents, right? U.S. presidents. I think what's his name was one, if he's even real, the dude with the top hat.
Abraham
Lincoln. Didn't he make like all his cabinet like the exact opposite, like on the other political party, just to keep him honest?
I have no idea.
I probably made that up. Spread the misinformation. But I know the greatest presidents would have these not yes men, but the opposite, that would question their every decision and give really, really sound arguments why, so that it would help them ensure that they're making the right decision. And I think true leaders do that. They have people around them that can tell them straight, like, nope.
Right. Yeah, you got to have that different viewpoint, because you might see something that I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I totally believe in that. You can't have yes men around you all the time, because look what happens to people like Diddy. Look at, he's got yes men around him all the time, and look at how his life turned out.
Well, look at just today, you called me out on the gay jokes, even worse than Vince. I had to turn it down, right?
Yeah,
you did me a favor there. All right, man, we're exactly at 90 minutes, so we can kill it right now, or we keep going?
No, just keep going, man. Let's organically finish it.
Here we go. All right, so we're gonna go another 30 minutes.
I know you said you got a hard out coming up, so
hey man, see, now you're getting gay. Yeah, I do have a hard stop at in about 34 minutes.
Let's go another 30.
So 30 is perfect. All right, so got a lady in your life? Oh, this is gonna be the hard hitting question. Are you uncut hunk, or are you cut?
I'm cut.
You're cut? Son of a bitch.
Cut hunk.
Fuck, cut hunk. So you and Vince was cut too. I was so surprised.
Yeah. I'm totally against it now. If I had a kid, I definitely wouldn't.
Good.
I think it's a nasty custom that started somewhere down the line.
It just doesn't make sense to me on so many levels. I know I had to fight tooth and nail with my little guy, like no fucking way. And then I found out the doctor that was supposed to do it 6 months later mutilated some kid by accident, of course. He didn't mean to, but what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's tragic.
Yeah.
And like, imagine instilling that kind of tragedy into a newborn.
Yep.
That's brutal.
And they say they don't feel it. Like, bullshit. It's the same as saying bugs don't feel it when you crush them, insects, animals. Like, dude, earrings, all of that. I just believe in, well, on so many levels, right? About, okay, when is a life a life? We can go back and forth on that, but I think it's pretty obvious. I believe, a lot of trauma. There's a really good book, Dr. Gabor Mate, that talks about In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. It's about addiction. So he was a doctor on Skid Row in Vancouver, helping people with addiction, methadone addiction. And basically the way he put it is, some of these people are so addicted, if they were in a wheelchair, they would sell that wheelchair just to get that hit, right? Now, unfortunately, this has nothing to do with weakness life. It actually happens in the womb and in the first year of life. If their mother was under stress, be it an alcoholic father, abusive father, or some bullshit that the mother had to deal with, that stress goes to the child, both in the womb and in the first year of life.
Yeah, through epigenetics, I think they call it.
Yep. And so what happens is this person will then all of a sudden be a ticking time bomb at 20, whereas regular people could do snort, coke, whatever, and have fun, kind of weekend warrior. They do it once and they're fucking hooked.
Yeah.
Plus all the trauma that they've seen in their life that they've never fully processed. So there's no real way to fix the problem other than methadone, and people are, anyway, the book is very, very intriguing in that sense. And he's got a lot of other books as well, but he talks about trauma and how important it is, at the beginning of life. And once I read this book, I started looking at homeless people completely different, especially like the ones that are addicted, because it's like, it just gives this level of empathy. And you realize that you really can't help giving them that $5 that they're going to go and they're going to get that hit. I had an example where I gave a crackhead, I hate calling them that, but it was downtown Toronto, our Dundas Square, which is like Times Square, New York. And the dude took my $5 and my buddy yelled at me, like, what the fuck are you doing? Because the guy walked right out, walked across the street so fast, he almost got hit by a car. And that was because I gave him that $5. Right. And my buddy's right. Like he shouldn't have given it to him.
Yeah.
Like you could have caused that accident.
Yeah, but you don't know that when you give him that $5.
Yeah.
He could have put that $5 in his pocket and bought himself a haircut or something later. You know what I mean?
It was obvious he wasn't getting a haircut, dude.
No, I mean,
it was like he was like, and he was very pushy. But I know what you're saying, and that's what we want to think. My personal thing now, the way I look at it is, hey, if I have $5 and it's my only $5 and I see somebody, it makes me feel good when I give it to them. I know it's not going to any good, but it makes me feel, especially once I realize fasting, just how powerful fasting is. It's like when they have the hungry signs, it's like, you're not hungry. I know you're not hungry. Like, but anyway.
So that's selfish of you then.
It is. It is in a way. It is. So to me, kindness is selfish. And dude, just like you say, you help people. I help people and I uplift people because I partake in their joy. If I can make them 10% happier, I'm actually 10% happier. Yeah. And if I help 20 people a day, I'm 200% happier. It gives me a sense of purpose. So it is selfish. You're 100% right. I'm very honest with myself. Running spaces was selfish. It was for me. It made me feel good, right? Doing these podcasts is for me. When I'm done this, I feel good. My heart is full. And hopefully it'll help other people. So I don't know why, but and maybe I'm a codependent, right? But whatever, like as long as I set proper boundaries and do the stuff that I enjoy and not, just say yes to everything.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes not to say yes to everything, like if you're a people pleaser, you know, you don't want to disappoint people.
There's a really good account on Instagram. It's called the People Displeaser, and I'll pop it in the comments. And I want to show this to you too in terms of marketing. The dude does a phenomenal job with marketing, and he has really, really good advice. And he actually says people pleasers are really selfish. Funny enough. Yeah. And then he explains why. He went through addiction, alcohol, and probably some other hard stuff too. I don't know the guy personally, but I will try to get him on at some point. But from a marketing perspective, he's like very good with his programs and stuff like that. So we can talk about that too. Have you ever thought about doing like any personal help, like mentoring, coaching people with addiction or helping them overcome addiction? Because I know your method is unconventional, but there's some people that really resonates with, right?
Like I kind of said earlier about how AA and that type of approach didn't work for me. I feel like if I did that, I'd be doing the same thing, like drowning myself with it and surrounding myself with it.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like it's like such a personal thing, and I don't feel like I give the best advice. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, it's interesting though, because you just said, the unconventional approach might work for other people as well.
Not to do.
Yeah.
Like what you said, seeing somebody and right away being like, okay, I can't see this person again, and not taking that hit.
Well, like I don't mind talking with people anytime, but as far as something that doing it, not full time, but doing it as a thing, it doesn't really appeal to me.
Okay. So are you open to people sliding in your DMs if they're struggling?
Sure.
Okay.
In fact, I believe we put it out there. I think I told anybody, to go ahead and hit me up if you're struggling and want to talk about it. Hit me up, and we can talk about it.
And you know what's funny? While I was going through my ego death, you reached out to me.
I did.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know. It's something Snoopy. But you were like, hey man, haven't seen you in a while. You good? And I gave you a thumbs up, and okay, you're still around.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I remember.
that.
Yeah, I just was seeing because I hadn't seen you around, and I kind of knew, you stepped away because you were dealing with some family stuff, at the time, and so yeah, it's just seeing what's up,
Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Podcast uses a 6. See, it's genius. Family stuff when it's something external and like, like my dad has a surgery. That's real shit. Right? Or my dog died. That's real shit. But when you're going through it and there's no reason, and it's just like, it's like a thumb that fucking pushes you down, and you can't associate it with anything except your entire life gets colored in these gray goggles. Your history, you can only pull on negative things. Your outlook is all negative. It's one of the most remarkable things that you can have such a completely outlook. And the only way I can explain it is it's almost like there are these spiritual entities that are sitting on you and just feeding off of you.
The good wolf and the bad wolf.
Yes. Yes. So but the only thing I can say to anybody, and my DMs are wide open too, if you're struggling, is this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good time or a bad time, if you're having the best time with your friends, just stop, really sit there and be like, man, I used to think this when I was younger. Is it always going to be like this, man? Or I would say that's always going to be like this. This is amazing. And I realized, no, nothing ever lasts. So really enjoy the moment and realize this too shall pass, the positive, but especially the negative. This too shall pass.
Well, I think, like with me, I was a bartender, for a long time, 20 years I bartended. And so like, I was always had this social aspect, and I'm not trying to say I was popular, but I always have known a lot of people. And where I live now, it was like, I couldn't go anywhere without running into someone, you know what I mean? And it kind of, in a way, it got annoying. And like, cause sometimes you want to go, like, for example, you just want to go sit and have a drink without having to do 100 hellos to people, because then they become fake, fake hello. Hey, how are you? This, that, bullshit. It's just, you're just going through the motions of being social. And I was not liking it, and then COVID come about, and I had a foot surgery, so I couldn't bartend anymore. And I haven't returned since, but it kind of slowed things down for me, and I wasn't having the social aspect anymore. And so, this Twitter stuff and the podcast stuff has really brought me back to a social thing. And it's nice. And it's actually almost better, because I feel like I'm making real connections, especially like with the phone booth crew. It's great to have them, what I consider part of the family now, like they're my group of friends, because I don't have brothers and sisters. I've always had to rely upon my friends as my family. And my real family, you think when you start podcasts and you start businesses and stuff, you think that your families are going to be the ones that support you. Well, guess what? I don't know if any of my family has watched any of my podcasts. I know my mother has watched a couple.
Yeah.
But like my cousins and whatnot, I don't think they've watched one. I've started businesses where I sell products. Do you think that they would buy one? Like, so I designed with a friend of mine. We designed an Android box similar to a Fire Stick, similar to an Apple TV, right? We made our own, and my cousin shot me down right away when we launched them.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not interested. But I guarantee you she uses one now. I guarantee you she has an Apple TV or a Roku or something like that. But she was not open to what I was doing at the time. But she'll go give fucking Steve Jobs $100. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, sometimes your family isn't the support circle.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's
go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's like, you know, if you're lucky enough to have a good group of friends around you, that's your support group. You know what I mean? Like with this podcasting, it gives me that social outlet that I used to have from bartending and just running around the music industry, entertainment industry. And it's something different, but it fills that social need that I have, because if you don't have that, you're just lonely and you can get depressed, especially with people like us that struggle with it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really glad you say that. Like, friends are the family you choose. In most cases, family, if my family wasn't family, you know, especially like extended, I would never even talk to them. Right. And I stay in contact because it's family, and you know, but so keeping that in mind, like, really, you can always build yourself up in your social circle around you. And right now it is powerful. For example, I can't think of a better thing to do on a Friday night or a Saturday night, other than maybe a date with wifey, eating some good food, than being on one of these live podcasts or watching one of these live podcasts of like-minded people that are talking about shit that I find interesting and giving an angle on worldly events, but from an awakened perspective where you're not buying into the bullshit and being pragmatic too, not saying, well, this is all fake and gay and whatever, but looking at it and being like, well, some of this, okay, we don't have enough information here. Like, I really like the color you guys put on, you know, worldly events, right? And the way you guys kind of disseminate that information and really kind of pick it apart with the bright minds you have. And yeah, the social aspect is key. It really is. What's great about this too is you don't even have to put pants on, man. You know? So
that's funny. Although I am wearing pants today.
Thank you. So am I. But I could Winnie the Pooh this shit, and nobody would be the wiser.
Winnie the Pooh. I call it Daffy Duck in it, but that's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. You know, this has led, you know, this social stuff has led me to the girl that I'm speaking to now. You know, I never would have met her if not doing this stuff. And I'm not going to name her.
No, that's fine. Don't name her.
Yeah, because you probably know her. But
really,
yeah.
Okay. And, all right, we'll talk off.
Yeah, I slid into her DMs. You know, but
man,
yeah.
What was your first line?
What was the first time? It was the first time I ever done anything like that.
Is it Carmen Electra? I heard she gave you like once.
She follows me. I met Carmen long time ago, but yeah, Carmen follows me.
Hell yeah.
No, it's not her. But no, I had never done anything like that. I've never met anyone online per se, you know. And I don't remember what I said. I think I asked her if she had a man, and then
no, that's good. Get right to it.
Yeah. You know, well, because I'm not gonna talk to someone that's seeing someone. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to step on toes. So
that's good. Well, again, this goes to character. You're not one of these dudes, one of these fucking hyenas that's trying to play friend zone and get in there every time she's having problems with her boyfriend, right?
Right. You know, it's like just I don't know any other way to live other than just being blunt and to the point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, even like, you know, my last serious relationship, it was like we pretty much lived together right out the gate. You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna jump in with both feet, you know?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, you're rubber banding a little bit. I'm not sure if it's on my end or not. I still made it all out, but maybe just do a little mic check.
Hello.
Yeah, so you're still. I'm not sure if it'll come out proper, but there's something.
What do you mean rubber banding? I don't know what that means.
But it's kind of, there's a little bit of staticky, and then like it's not clear.
I don't know.
All right, that's better. Whatever you did, just keep cupping your nuts.
Is that what it is? Cup my nuts?
Yeah. Now there's a slight delay. So this is like one of those dub movies, but that's okay. just really accentuate when you talk. Probably me too. It's probably on my end. Who knows?
But
Maybe it's nothing
on the syllable.
Yeah. Dude, it looks like one of those dubbed kung fu movies. Dude, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that you found love, or like, if it's not love yet. But this is a weird thing. I wasn't told this until I was 40 by a friend of mine. Call him out here, Brett. And he looked at me and he said, "Hey, Laz, you deserve to be happy." And I found that so odd. Nobody's ever told me that, at least that exact line that way. Maybe he told me exactly when I needed to hear it, because I was going through it. There's like 2017 Q4. It was like one of the worst times of my life. I was listening to Johnny Cash Hurt, and like it just resonated through my entire body. So I'm saying to you, Snoop, you deserve to be happy, buddy. So I'm really happy you got a nice lady in your life.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope she knows what she has.
Yeah, no, I think it's really great for both of us. I think we both needed to find each other,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I mean, it's still, early on.
But,
yeah. It feels good and it looks cool, and, the future looks bright. So
awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to be excited. It's good to look forward to something. And especially when you can find it in, a female. It's one of the most exciting things, man. Women, we're going to talk about this tonight, but I hate the whole modern red pill, even black pill bullshit, where they talk about women as like as if like they're it's almost like this narcissistic thing that they teach, that you got to control women and somehow they're less than, and you got to fucking keep them in their place and blah blah blah. I think it's absolutely horseshit. I think there's truth in that. A man needs to be strong in his boundaries and hold masculine containment for a female. But if you are essentially playing a game trying to control your woman, first of all, it's not gonna last. It's like trying to cage a fucking tiger. Good luck, because you're gonna get your fucking arm bitten off. A woman is the most dangerous species on earth, second only to a weak man.
Yeah.
And but they're also the most powerful. Having the right woman by you, I mean, it completely changes men. I think men, if it wasn't for women, we'd be living in cardboard boxes. So
I agree. It's it's given me a lot of motivation and a lot of it's nice to have that woman in your corner too, that's supportive of you as well. One that is encouraging and lets you know that like you just said, you deserve to be happy. Lets you know that you deserve love. You deserve these things, especially, like me, if you deal with things like depression and stuff like that, it really helps, and that could be a slippery slope, because you could become addicted to that too.
Yep. It is addictive, and misery loves company. And sometimes you want to sit in it and you don't want any help, because you just want to lick your wounds, and that's okay too. Just on this point, since you got a lady in your life, do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
I'm not really a holiday celebrator, man.
All right.
I enjoy, like, it's Christmas time. I enjoy this time of year. I enjoy the vibes from it. But I'm not particularly into gift giving and shit like that. Okay. Valentine's Day feels like a made up bullshit thing.
It is
to me. Now I'm down for celebrating, like anniversary stuff like that represent love that you have with one another. That's cool, but okay. I don't need a Hallmark card to say it. You know what I mean?
I got 2 pro tips for you. So first of all, I agree with you with Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year, because I just find people are, especially in Canada, just a little bit kinder. They're about 5 to 10% kinder. They'll say happy holidays. People just seem to have a little more cheer. I know it's a bullshit holiday, pagan, looking to Santa, all that bullshit. And it's not even Jesus's real birthday, which is September 11th, funny enough, either the conception or the birth. So looking at that one, we talked about it with Timbo.
Yeah, my mother's always taught me that since I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just funny, right? How they tried to ruin that twice, even with the Charlie Kirk situation. Because technically other places it was already 9/11.
Yeah, my birthday is September 12th.
Oh, yes. I remember you telling me. So now we are the same age. See, you were trying to tell me you're older. I'm like, no, dude, I'm older than you. You're a young punk. You're 79 or you're
80.
80. Okay. So 2 pro tips around Valentine's Day. First off, book the 13th. Okay. Get the nicest restaurant, book it a day in advance. You get it at fucking real price versus the bullshit.
Well, here's my situation is it's a long distance situation.
I figured as much. But if you do book the 13th, she'll understand and she gets to eat well. Second, make sure you get her a gift and you celebrate it the way she wants. Because do you know what March 14th is?
Steak and blowjob day.
There you go, my friend. So get that into the mix, but make sure you celebrate her well on Valentine's Day.
That's funny.
Yeah. So you like Valentine's Day now?
I love it. It's my favorite holiday.
You see how easy that is in terms of motivation? What more do it could even be a sandwich. It could be no food, you know, even if it's just blowjob day.
Right.
So all right, dude, we have about like 6 minutes left here. Let's talk a little bit more about Here's the Thing podcast, phone booth, what you guys are up to, where people can find you. Like self-promote a little bit. I know you're so humble, but what are you really trying to do with Here's the Thing podcast?
You know, I just want to continue to have interesting conversations with people. You know, most of my guests have been musicians I've met throughout the years. I'd like to kind of branch off and get into other people that I don't know, like, which is great. Like talking to Josh and Zach this weekend, you know, and I never would have met guys like this without being a member of the phone booth crew. So it's cool because these guys blow my mind, like, you know, because they know so much about these different things. Like I don't even know what I'm going to talk to them about yet, you know, because like, there's just so many different ways I could go with them. And Jonah's like that too, man. I love talking to Jonah because it's just like he can talk about anything, and like not that he's an expert in it, but he's got a vast knowledge of stuff that he brings to the table. So, you know, it's really cool.
I learned words from Jonah. I learned new words. He's so well spoken. He's articulate.
Right. Too bad Vince can't learn new words. Jesus.
No.
But no, it's just I enjoy having interesting conversations with people. So it's cool. Hopefully we've got some interesting guests coming up for my Here's the Thing podcast. And, you know, I love doing the phone booth streams. I learn something new almost every stream. So I look forward to those, you know, every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us on the phone booth live streams. The mainstream Mondays now is a thing. Same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. You know, we're kind of rotating members in and out of that, so you can catch me on those once in a while. And then Here's the Thing is every Tuesday. And let's see what else. I've been thinking about doing another little like podcast. I've got a couple different ideas floating around, so be on the lookout for something new coming from Snoop Von Poop. Follow me at Snoop Von Poop on X. That's my main social media page that I really, you know, I'm on all the time, and you can get me on. Slide into my DMs. Tell me you got an addiction story or whatever. Tell me you hate the Here's the Thing podcast and I'm a piece of shit. I don't care.
Awesome. Now, question for you on the Here's the Thing, because it looks like you put it live because you're live when you show up, but you pre-record that, and how come it works like that?
I just do it as a watch stream. That way I can hop in the comments. You know, because they are recorded. So I could just put the video up, but it's just more fun to do it like this, you know, because that way people can comment on it and I can be in the comments and commenting back and forth, and you know, just makes it a little more fun.
Awesome. Have you thought about maybe going live at the end of it or before it starts?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the live. I mean, I do the lives. I was doing lives twice a week, and doing lives are a different animal. I like the recording of it, not because I want to edit it, but just in case I need to edit it or something, you know, sometimes like I've had, you know, topics come up that, you know, people like at the end are like, hey, can you remove that? I'm like, sure, no problem. You know,
that won't happen on mine. Everything is raw and uncut.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we don't cut anything.
I personally don't care, but you know, like I was talking to one buddy of mine, and we started talking about this other guy, mutual friend of ours, and at the end he was like, "Dude, I don't want to talk about that dude on here." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, cool, we'll take that out."
Yeah,
but
that guy. Awesome, and honestly, look for Snoop tonight. I'm gonna try to launch this in time. If somebody watches it, make sure you tune in 9 p.m. Eastern. Today is 12/12, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun, and then it's gonna lead to some other stuff. Dude, you are you are a very, very interesting dude. I'm really glad you're doing this. I'm really glad you're leaning into it. I personally am honored to call you my friend.
Yeah, me as well. Thank you, Laz. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate everything you do, and the very honest, raw take you bring to stuff, you know, and you're always self-deprecating. I don't think you have a 69 IQ. I think it's a lot closer to 71. No, I'm joking. If anything, I think you're, yeah, but honestly, like if you weren't joking about that, you would seem like one of the smartest dudes on the podcast. And I know that's hard to say because, you know, but in terms of directness and like you're just with it. You're very with it. Like nothing slips by you. And yeah, I appreciate you. I really enjoy you being on my podcast or conversation because it's not even a podcast. If you ever need a filler, just let me know. I'll come in last minute for your Here's the Thing. I know we did like a half an hour. But I really enjoyed these conversations.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, man. This has been a blast. You know, this is a different kind of conversation, and I enjoyed it for sure.
Dude, it's great. I almost got you to smile. Drink some more Monster.
I'm out. It's empty.
You're out? Okay, there we go. We got to smile. All right, buddy. I really, really appreciate you. Man, love. And have a blessed day and go keep helping people.
You as well. And I'll look forward to seeing you tonight, man.
Awesome, bro. See you on the live. Peace out.
Later. All right.